It's your boy, Ben Jackson.
I might do a Sega one as well.
That would be pretty tight.
Shroom.
Yeah. Just rip off the music and do like the clouds thing.
Yeah.
And then it's just you and I instead of Sonic and Tails.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
That's a really good idea. But yeah, we'd have to do pictures of us each standing like cross-armed or something, or what?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. Or actually, let's look it up. What is the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 fucking
I'm just going to post this link.
start screen? Just
post this link on.
Okay, so they're sat like on a cloud or some bullshit.
Oh, are they?
Here, I'll show it to you. Let me get it. Let me find a big one and I'll share it. That one's not so big. Well, whatever. It does the trick. I present, share screen. Yeah. Pantalla completa. Here we go. So it's like they're just kind of hanging out inside.
Yeah, that's it.
Ribbon.
Yeah. On the opening of the Sega screen as well, on there was a special edition one, and it was just Sonic running past, and then Sega comes up.
Oh yeah, no, that's the same one.
Yeah,
that's the same one actually. Here, let's find it. Because it starts like that, Sega.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one I remember.
And then Sonic runs past, I believe, twice.
Yeah.
And then the screen kind of flashes, and then we go outside, and then the ribbon appears, and then Sonic pops up, and then Tails pops up. Check this shit out. You're gonna see exactly that, as if I had prepared this. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm half autistic. Opening scene. No, not this bullshit. Do I have to say Sega Genesis? What year do I live in? This isn't real.
There's more versions of the Sega
this bullshit
Mega Drive or Genesis opening than I thought when I was searching them.
Oh really? Are you more familiar with a different one?
Well, there is the one that you're talking about that I'm familiar with, but like every time they brought.
Did I share sound?
No, I can't see anything. Oh, he's frozen.
Son of a bitch.
Is it being a fucker?
I don't think I'm sharing my screen.
Ooh.
Let me do that.
Hold on a sec. Stop sharing.
So yeah, so I was, and then I'm gonna show it. Here, audio, yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So careful observe. The sky and the outside was the last thing to appear, actually.
Okay.
So it's Sonic runs across once, runs back, Sega, and then you see the word Sega, and then it twinkles, and then it's white, and then the ribbon comes, and then Sonic, then Tails, and they're like, yeah, fucking whatever, dude. And then it's the sky outside.
Yeah, we'll do one with
Sorry,
both of us, man.
that took entirely too long.
That was cool.
All right, great. Look at this. Look at this grinder that I just bought. It's maybe the
cool.
best design I've ever seen. Because it has this like magnet top and both ends of it spin. I don't know.
Wow.
It's just pretty cool.
Sweet. Excuse me.
What's up with you?
Not much. Spent a day teaching. It's back home now. Put the boy to bed, and then I'm just figured I'd spend some time doing what I should be doing.
Yeah, dude. That sounds good to me. I was thinking the same thing because I've got a week off coming up because I'm changing jobs and I don't start until the Monday after next.
Oh yeah, what are you doing?
I'm going to start working for a Polish company, an English company for Polish people, English language for Polish folks.
Ah, right. So you're still teaching then?
Oh yeah, dude. I'm not qualified to do anything else.
Qualifications are overrated, mate.
Mate, I've been teaching for so long though. It's the
Yeah,
only
I know.
job that I feel confident in.
Mate, it's I can see now why going into it. Why some like I think I'm quite well equipped to deal with teaching, especially difficult students.
Oh, do you get mad?
Nah, not at all.
So then, why is it difficult to deal with difficult students?
Because I don't feel it, but I can understand why some teachers get stressed out. There are some teachers that I work with that get stressed out with the students, and I can understand why. I think as a younger man, I would have more difficulty with it, 100%.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I was a different guy 15, 20 years ago, mate.
Oh man, so
not as wise, not as chill, you know.
I think I was smarter then, actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think so.
I think I had more energy. I don't know if I was. I don't know. It depends what you depends what you define smarter as, I suppose.
I don't know. Maybe I feel like back then I hadn't experienced any losses, so I still felt daring.
Yeah.
Which is maybe not even a good thing, but god damn, it felt good. You know what I mean? And it was just a different. I think maybe it was just more like I hadn't really lost before, so I didn't really think I ever would. So I was just pretty ballsy, man. Like I remember, like I was student teaching, so I must have been maybe 21, 20 even, maybe 21 at the oldest, you know? And so I was still in college. I hadn't graduated. And this kid, because I taught at this inner city school where it's like all black kids and Puerto Rican kids. There was literally one white kid in the school, and they made like a thing about it. But that kid was badass. But anyways, this black kid got in my face and was trying to intimidate me because they were like, "Who's this student teacher? I don't like him," kind of thing. Sure. I don't know why they didn't like me, but whatever. And was trying to scare me. And I just said to him, "Man, if you punch me, that would just make my day, because there are so many witnesses that will attest, and I won't have to come back here.
Right. And
they'll just give me an A, or they'll make me do it somewhere else, and I'll be fine. So there's nothing you can do to me that I'm not okay with. So your move."
I've not had that yet. I've not been physically threatened.
But yeah, I feel like that doesn't happen as much in England, or does it?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Or they'll just knife you.
Yeah, well, they'll just threaten to fight you or something. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I was a terrible student, so like really bad. So I sort of understand where some of the misplaced anger comes from.
Okay.
There's a lot of barriers to get through with some kids, so.
Yeah, I guess so. I've been pretty lucky since then, to be fair.
Yeah.
So that was like the peak. That was the worst, and I got through that pretty early in my career.
Yeah. Well, that's good. But yeah, man, I just I think there's so much difference as well. I think this might be part of it because I'm an older teacher. I've come into it at an older age.
Right.
The difference between me and them is so vast, like in life experience, that when they say stuff that could be perceived as like insulting or whatever, I just don't like. I don't analyze what they're saying like I would if it was an adult. Like
you know how to not react.
Well, I just don't analyze it like I would an adult because they're not saying it with the right. So if someone says something, if you said to me, Greg, like seriously, mate, I think you're a cunt, then that would probably hurt my feelings, and I would want to know why, right? And we'd have a big conversation about it and try to break down why you think I'm.
But if a fucking 19-year-old,
they don't really know why they're saying it, what the meaning of it is, the impact of it is. Like they've probably never even experienced what that really means. So I don't fucking care. It's just still, if they're just trying to figure out life at the moment.
Oh, for sure, dude. You're not in the real world yet.
Yeah. So I can't bring myself to be insulted or anything.
Did you go to college at all when you were young, or you just postponed it until now?
No, I left school at 16.
Okay.
And I went to I did graphic design at college from 17 to 18, and then I did a higher it was basically just under a degree. It's called HND in graphic design at university after that for 2 years. And then I went into the workforce and was a graphic designer for about 7 years. Then I got into art restoration for about 15 years. Then that's when I met you. That's when COVID happened.
Yeah, that's right. Because I remember you told me that's what you did. And you did that for how long? 15 years?
The art restoration, yeah.
Yeah. So that's longer than anything else, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a few things in between, but like nothing particularly notable. I was basically a graphic designer, restorator and embellisher, and then in between I was a freelance artist.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's tough living, man.
Is it difficult to find jobs?
I mean, artists just don't have a very good business brain, mate. So I would make headway on the freelance stuff, and then it would fall by the wayside because I'd concentrate on my day job, and then I'd have to pick it back up again, and then. But like holding it, you've got to be so consistent because everything's online. Like to keep pushing and pushing, and if you haven't got a name for yourself or something to sort of hang it on, like a comic book, then it's really difficult to just sell yourself as an artist. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah, you need a brand.
Yeah. And but yeah, so I came to the degree stuff later on, and the PCET that I just did. That's the first time I've really done anything academic, as far as a lot of writing and stuff since school, because I wasn't great at it and I avoided it, but I did quite well. So great. I think I've got smarter as I've got older. Fuck knows how, because I was quite a dumb kid for a long time. Very different than what I am now, Ben.
Okay.
Daft boy.
But you've accumulated wisdom.
Yeah, because I made every mistake under the sun. I've fucked up in every way possible, so I know all the pitfalls.
Okay.
Well, not all of them. I know a lot of them.
Yeah, I used to I used to just be a really arrogant son of a bitch. I think that's all it is.
Yeah, I think I was.
Like, I probably just thought I was smarter.
I think arrogance comes with inexperience, though, doesn't it? Because if you've experienced enough and you're wise enough, you're too wise to be arrogant.
It's the arrogance of the undefeated in it.
Yeah.
But then it's like Matt Hughes said, if you're undefeated, you're fighting the wrong people.
Yes.
So ain't no undefeated.
Right.
So yeah, dude, but when you're in university or in college or whatever, as a young person, it's a fucking trip, dude, because it's unprecedented independence.
Right.
Right. But simultaneous to it, it's like this responsibility of doing well in these courses.
Yeah.
And so it's this funny thing where you develop the ability to excel, or at least I did, to excel academically and simultaneously do like drugs that you never tried before.
Right.
And have like way more like access to sex.
Yeah.
And things like that. And I was also like, I was a DJ on the radio station, so I also would go to concerts and all the time and be at parties nonstop. So I was juggling a lot, man, and I feel like I was performing, a lot more at. I don't know. I was definitely performing at a higher level at that time.
Do you mean in terms of volume?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't write fucking anything.
So it was quantity.
So I mean, I wasn't trying to either, right? I wasn't attempting to write anything.
Yeah, but quantity can be the illusion of quality, right?
But it's just like the way I feel about it, Max. I'll tell you honestly, is that I feel now I'm doing what I ought to do, what my life work is.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm slow as far as accomplishing things. Whereas back then, I was doing things that now I don't consider to be important, like studying and partying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck about either of those things anymore. I mean, I'm not interested in doing them anymore.
Yeah.
And, but I was also, getting fucking A's and B's and fucking killing it.
Well, it's not an illusion, but there's the feeling of going forward when you're young as well, especially if you're in education, because you're feeling there are actually markers that you're getting somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've passed a module, you've passed your year, you've passed your second module, blah, blah, blah. These are your certificates. So there's that sense of that you're moving forward probably. Whereas in real life, you don't get those sorts of markers, which is why people lose momentum.
The problem is that I've not set for myself deadlines.
Yeah.
That I've kept.
Yeah.
So it's like I've been 99% done with the Rokon novel for fucking ages, and instead of doing that 1%, I begin new projects.
You're right.
From scratch.
Yeah, I used to do that. So some of that can be procrastination.
It's just fear of the unknown.
Right,
like,
right.
I don't know what that next step is going to be like.
It's going to be sound.
It's going to be sound?
Yeah, it's going to be sound.
What if no one fucking buys this book?
Well, then we just fucking move on to the next thing or carry on doing it. Just don't worry about it.
Okay. All right, one novel coming up.
Just do it.
All right.
Worst thing that happens, you put it out, you don't get the interest. So what, man? Like, you're only as good as your next project anyway.
All right, you want to hear my projects? Tell me which one I should do right after Rokon.
Go on.
So I had this really eccentric homosexual like pseudo-intellectual that never actually got a degree, but like pretends that he was an anthropologist. And he's the owner of this house where I used to live.
Oh, okay.
And this guy would like dress flamboyantly and like always have a cocktail glass in his hand and throw parties at his house all the time.
Okay.
So it was a weird, fun place to live. And the house was like this super old house that's bizarre and like the architecturally very odd. And a lot of weird shit happened in that house. Like magic shit. And I'm like not kidding. So
I know.
So one time when I was tripping on acid, it occurred to me that it would be really interesting because I could say all kinds of weird, make up weird shit that could possibly happen in the house and tell you true stories from the house, and you could not tell the difference, right? So I was like, okay, a series of short stories all in this house, and some of them are true and some of them are not. And then the acid really kicked in, and it occurred to me, no. Do a story where it's a choose your own adventure, but a comic book.
Yeah.
And it's the reader chooses what happens in the book, and you just fork out from there, and you have like 16 different endings.
Okay. I wonder if that exists.
I think we would be the first ones to do it.
Should we check it out in a minute? See if it exists.
And the cool thing I like about this idea is that we could get it done pretty quick. Because like I think like for page by page, I would go with a different kind of artist because I want just like a simple kind of read through, of the dude.
You know Black Mirror?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the special called Bandersnatch?
I did not.
And so it's a Black Mirror episode, but I think it was a Christmas special at home. But
I've heard of it. Yeah, it was like this whole thing. I didn't have Netflix at the time.
So it's essentially that, but in an episode. So you go through this guy's story, and then you get to a point where you have to press something on the remote to either go left or right.
Oh fuck! Oh
and
really?
Yeah. And one of them is. And you'll really appreciate it because there's a whole scene where he takes acid and everything goes crazy and you can control his sort of trip in different ways and whether that really affects his life and stuff. But
cool. It sounds like someone else did acid and had the same idea.
Oh yeah, 100%. It is really good. It's set in the 80s and it's sort of centered around this game, this sort of legendary game that was supposed to come out in the 80s called on the ZX Spectrum, but never did. So it's like this legendary thing. No one really knows what it was.
So it's a video game that never got me.
Yeah, in the 80s. It's like on cassette. But the episode plays as if it's the game because it gives you all these different.
That sounds cool, dude. That sounds like.
But it forces you to go through it forces you to try all of the options anyway, right? Because because the whole episode really is about different dimensions and what happens if you go different ways, and it gets really, really meta. My point is, if you were going to do a comic book that was choose your own adventure and you had like a through line, I wonder if it would be better, like, not better, but I wonder if it'd be a good idea to do it like sort of in a meta sort of way that you get to experience all of it, because if you only go one way through it, then you're going to miss some of the artwork, aren't you?
Oh yeah, well my assumption is that everybody is going to tick off this ending and then go back and try another ending until they've seen them all.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to be an idiot not to. You'd be cheating yourself.
I don't know, man. I had the Forest of Doom, which was do you remember Ian Livingstone and somebody Jackson who did they were like the famous guys that did the storybooks. Anyway. I had Forest of Doom when I was a kid, and I always went the same way because I'm weird.
You're like, nah, dude. I know what I want to do. I'm not changing my mind. Okay, This is still how I feel.
Yeah.
You can't change who I am.
No, I'm reading this page.
We're like Beavis and Butthead reading these fucking books.
Yeah, now I'm saying it back. I realise how retarded I was. But...
No, that's all right. I get it. I really do.
But yeah, I think that's a cool idea. Like, I'd like to see how that might work or play out. Yeah, I like that.
And what's exciting about it is I think we could all we need is some kind of, I don't know who to compare it to, but just somebody who could draw this motherfucker well, you know, so it really looks like him with his funny nose and everything. And because I got pictures of the dude.
Oh right, okay.
I got pictures of the dude, and he's a funny looking dude. So it's just somebody writes this book, and it's about him and all the people that live at his house. So like, there's a character that's me, you know, and there's a character that's my other friend. But anyways, what I don't like about this idea is there's no action. You know what I mean? Like, it's about drugs and magic and funny.
Yeah, you want at
funny
least,
true stories.
Yeah, so you need, I would say, in something like that, you're gonna want to cover all bases, and then you're gonna have at least one arc of the story that's got way the action arc. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to figure out that what those stories would be.
And they do that in Bandersnatch, but they do it by going completely meta. And having because it's a pretty straight story, and then towards the end, I think ninjas break through the window, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And you like fight the ninjas, but it's trying to tell you that it's trying to make you believe as a viewer that it will go anywhere, and it works. It works really well.
That's really funny, dude. No, I gotta watch that. Is what I gotta do. But anyways, that's one thing I'm doing. Then another thing I'm doing is these two superheroes that I want to exist in the same universe, and one of them is called the Jacket.
The Jacket.
I think I told you. Yeah. And the other one is called the Gargoyle. And the Jacket is a fucking dude wearing a leather jacket, but the leather jacket is possessed with the ghosts of everybody who ever wore the jacket, along with all of their abilities and knowledge. So it's like, it's a biker, it's a drug dealer, it's a World War II fighter pilot, it's a professional motorcycle racer. So this kid can do anything he needs to do. He can fight, he's a ninja, whatever, you name it, right?
Cool.
But nothing supernatural, just anything that a human being could really do, this guy could do it. So he's on like Batman level, right? That's his power level, right?
Cool.
And then, but he's not like as smart as Batman. And then the other dude is a superhero called the Gargoyle, which is more like along the lines of Batman and visually, you know. You know, Batman, think Grendel, that kind of that kind of a character. And this dude has a dog that can turn to stone, like into a statue and back, and he can also turn into a statue and like stay still for like however long he needs to, and so he doesn't need to sleep or get tired. And then he also has claws, so he can fight good. And then he has these fun ears that are like going to be his look, and they can like.
I remember we spoke
about
this guy, right?
Yeah, you remember that guy. Yeah. So them two have interwoven. So I would write the two of them in like this maybe three arc story, and then each of those is the origin for each of them.
Yeah.
And then I maybe write a series, an arc for one or the other or both of them. After that.
Yeah.
And then the other idea that I have that I've been working on is an anthropomorphic ant that's like a soldier, but then he has some problems and ends up going AWOL and going rogue against the army, becoming a fugitive.
Yeah, I was. Is this set in? So I was thinking about this last night because you've told me a few times, And what I was thinking was, because we're talking about what anthropomorphic animals we would do, and I couldn't think of anything at the time. And then I thought, what's a question that I wanted to ask you was, what sort of anthropomorphic animal universe is it, right? Because I never really thought of it like this, but I suppose it is. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles they're anthropomorphic characters, but they're just given a reason to be anthropomorphic in a human world, aren't they? Whereas you get other anthropomorphic characters that are just in a world full of anthropomorphic characters.
No, I'm talking about like the planet is all like insects and arachnids, but
cool.
But they're humanoid, but I'm sentient.
Because I always wanted to do, if I ever did a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles story, I always wanted to introduce like a bat, but a bat that was like Zatoichi, so he's blind and he's got like a huge sword. And then I'd have, I think the way I would design him was have his wings like the samurai's gi, so it sort of hangs. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's dope, dude.
And then the sword underneath.
That's dope, dude. What's his name?
Fuck knows. That's as far as I got.
All right, dude. What if it's a lightsaber?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And it's in space. Because I want to do like every planet is a different kind of animal. Like there's an insect planet that's really big, it has like fuckloads of animals, and there's a mammal planet and there's a bird planet. So it's like a solar system.
Yeah, but you could still it doesn't have to be a lightsaber. It could still be like a planet that's like feudal Japan, but with like robots.
Oh, so this planet's like behind in time?
Yeah, they're just super traditional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
A vibro blade or something. Just look. I like the look.
It can be. No, that's all right. It can be traditional.
Yeah, I just like the. Have you seen any Zatoichi films?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just like that aesthetic for.
Yeah, dude.
I suppose because I was thinking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool too, for sure. And you know what, dude? There's no problem because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have been space gladiators, so there's precedent. So we can do ninja outer space crossover. That's allowed.
Yeah, like a running bat.
Heck yeah, dude. That's interesting because there's already been an anthropomorphic samurai based on Zatoichi, but it was imagined as a pig for some reason.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, in Usagi Yojimbo.
Right.
Which is one of my favorite comic books of all time, by the way.
I'll have to check that out.
Bro, I like it way more than Ninja Turtles.
Star Wars does this. They
love Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I know, I do too. Star Wars does this. They take a lot of influence from Japanese cinema. They just don't run with it long enough for it to be really great, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, The Mandalorian is obviously what's his face with the kid. Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah, and there was a blind samurai in Rogue One as well, wasn't there? Pretty much.
Yeah, dude, there was, and but cool. Okay, so Usagi Yojimbo is this rabbit samurai who has had numerous crossovers with the Ninja Turtles. There's like even Ninja Turtle action figures of this dude. He's a samurai rabbit, and his ears are tied up like as if he were a samurai dude. And this dude kicks ass. And one reason why he's better than the Ninja Turtles is because he kills people.
Yeah. He's like the Punisher to the Spider-Man.
Well, it's like he had the good fortune, and I mean this, of never becoming well known enough to be turned into a cartoon show.
Right. Fair enough.
So it only because the Ninja Turtles, especially Raphael, they were killers.
Yeah, I know. There's
Because these are deadly weapons. You stupid
Yeah.
motherfucker! Like obviously they're killers. You can't be swinging Sai and not killing anybody.
I heard they're doing an animated version of The Last Ronin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't liked anything in a long time.
And a video game as well.
Okay.
I've not read it, but I heard it from your good authority that it was good, man.
Okay. Well, the previous video game of Ninja Turtles was quite good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see it. I like the concept.
Yeah.
Of Last Ronin.
Yeah, it's a good story for sure. I'll give it a try. I'm sure there'll be something I don't like. Just like I don't really like the DC animation, just the style.
Sure.
What were you going to ask me?
Am I wrong in thinking that the Ronin is Michelangelo?
I believe that's the case. Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's like there's only one Ninja Turtle left. Pick.
Yeah.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly. Gun to your head. Pick Michelangelo. That's kind of what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose he's the more interesting one to go on a revenge spree, I think.
Exactly, because he's the least likely.
Yeah.
Which makes for the most character development.
Right, exactly, yeah.
It just comes down to a math equation, dude. That's why AI are now able to do it.
I know, it's fucking annoying.
Because there's math to it, you know.
That documentary's still coming on.
That's the power of math. Wouldn't that be funny? Like a parody of. Is that Huey Lewis in the News?
Yeah. Power of have you heard of Copilot?
What's that?
It's an AI teacher's friend, and you can go onto it and type in, make me a lesson plan about this for these people for this long, and it just goes bang, 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 bang. And then it will make you a PowerPoint presentation. It will make you a scheme of work. Oh yeah, it's fucking amazing, and it's free, boy. Check it out.
Free? It's called Copilot?
Yeah.
Okay.
And GTP chat as well. That'll do a lesson plan for you as well. In fact, shall we see if I can do one now in front of you?
Oh yeah, dude.
Let me see if I can find it.
Blow my mind, bro.
It's pretty insane. Present. Maybe just get it up.
That sounds cool, dude. Cause I'd be out here teaching. You know what I'm saying? That shit's real.
Yeah.
That's real work. You know what I'm saying? They know sommelier. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I read that word in a book recently.
Sommelier.
I'm not sure about the spelling. It's French, but it basically means a job that's like easy, but it pays well.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right. What lesson do you want? Tell me what lessons you want and for what sort of class, like age or level or something.
Okay, check this out. The lesson title is The Books That Made Us. Objective, students will be able to
You know what I'm saying?
I'll let you catch up. See if this works the way I'd like it to. Students will be able to use common adverbs hardly, comma,
common adverbs.
Which one? Let me think.
Hardly. Yeah.
Fuck. Let me remember. Hardly. Barely, I want to say. No. Give me a second. There's a reason why I'm really going to be a stickler for this, because this was a lesson that I just did recently.
Mm-hmm.
And actually for the job, and I scored a perfect score. So, okay. Hardly, comma, highly, comma, lately.
You say hardly what? Sorry.
Hardly, comma,
Yeah.
highly,
Yeah.
comma, lately.
Yeah.
Comma, and common adjectives.
At common adjectives.
And common adjectives.
That's it.
No worries. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Hard, comma, high, comma, late.
Okay.
Class duration 1 hour. Students 6. Upper intermediate. I'll repeat it. Class duration 1 hour. Students 6. Upper intermediate. See what it does with that. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, well, mine's better, but this will do the trick.
Yeah. So I mean that's a really crude way of doing it, and this is not the one for teachers. This is just GP chat. You can ask it anything, right? But you could sit down, type that in, get that out as a template, and then just add improvements, couldn't you?
Right, you sure could.
Instead of smashing all that out.
Bro, and that would sure save time.
Right.
That would sure save time. Oh, can we try it again?
Yeah.
Do you have the? Okay, can you keep the text, or did you close out?
I closed it. Sorry.
That's all right. I'll try it on my own. I'd experiment.
Yeah, GPT chat, man.
Yeah.
And check out Copilot as well. That'll make actual presentations for you.
Oh, that sounds cool.
But they're punting it towards teachers now to like close that door on a lot of the admin that you have to do.
Okay. But
That's
I mean,
scary.
It might be good though, because at the end of the day, you're still gonna want, I hope, if you're a school, or if you're, the education board or whatever, you're gonna want human beings deciding and guiding each of these courses, right?
Yeah, you'd hope.
You'd hope. even if it's a human being with an AI in the class or designing the curriculum. But
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with people's jobs being easier.
No, I mean, I don't have a problem with people's jobs being easy.
I would love my job to be easier, dude. Are you kidding? I'm tired. Right? Working sucks. All right. I'm done. I'm over it. You know, remember that episode of The Simpsons where they get conquered by aliens?
Yeah.
And the one guy is like, I, for one, welcome our alien overlords.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like low-key, I, for one, welcome our AI overlords, dude. Like,
Let it wash over you.
I'm trying to relax already. Work on my writing.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm gonna have a week off, so I'm challenging myself to write 10,000 words, which is not that much. It's a reachable goal.
You're gonna break it. You're gonna break it up into segments during the week.
No, I'm gonna hit it tomorrow morning hard and set a strong pace.
Oh,
because if I hit those 10,000 words right away, I'll just go for another. You know, that's best case scenario.
Don't burn yourself out too quick though, because I do that. I'll throw myself in for 3 days and not sleep, and then the next 3 days I can't do it.
No, let me be clear. I'm gonna do very juicioso, sleeping 8 hours and eating 2 meals a day.
Good.
And working out. So, this is like peak performance.
Cool.
Week. So, yo.
What do you think of what's going on here, mate?
Yeah, dude. So this is really fucking cool. That's a dead dude. And that's Rakan. And look at that panel, dude. Jesus wept.
Right.
That is really dope. If you had the right combination with that panel, if it was Kanye West himself to design it, because he's good at taking other people's stuff and putting it on a CD, you could make like a single and a cover.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm bummed about Kanye West, to be honest with you, because for a little while, fuck him, obviously, but at the same time, it's like being Christian was almost like the coolest thing on earth. Like for a little while,
he fucked it up.
For a little while, the #1 album in America was called "Jesus Is King," and it slaps. It's actually a really excellent album.
Well, look, you can't take away that his musical ability and he's talented he is. He's clearly got. Because I don't think.
I saw how you just drew that Oasis, by the way. That was sneaky. It looks super good.
Oh, yeah, cheers, man.
The line's right there.
Yeah. I just think he's ill.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was late figuring it out because I'm a really big fan, so I was in denial.
And
I kept coming up with excuses for him and like refusing to see it until he went on Alex Jones and was just blatantly saying
that I love. Yeah,
anti-Semitic things.
Even then he was. Oh God, I just feel like he was saying crazy shit, but I think what he was trying to say that he loves everyone because Jesus loves everyone, and that's why he kept saying I love Hitler. But I think he was just he was being belligerently edgy, and it made him sound like a big. You don't agree, no?
I was having the same inner dialogue until the next segment.
Right.
When he was talking about Hitler's not evil, and I like Hitler, and it wasn't no Holocaust.
Oh, did you say there's no Holocaust?
I think so. So that's when I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
officially. I won't return to the Kanye West yacht. Thanks for all the fish.
Oh yeah, I don't think anyone should be. You can't even if he's. The thing is, if he meant what he said in the way that you think he meant it, you can't support him.
No, you can't support him.
But if he you can't support what he said, and if he didn't mean it and he's sick, you still can't support him because
can't support him because he's out of his mind and he's unreliable.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it's like, no, I just thought it was going to become cool to be Christian and like to do like Christian rapping.
Listen, man, the new cool is not being cool.
So yo, I like this page a lot, man. It's really circular because this is towards the end.
Yeah.
And it's visually reminiscent of towards the beginning.
Right.
Or the beginning, really.
Yeah.
So it's a full circle.
Yeah, we've got the journey again. There's lots of depictions of the journey in this version.
How cool is that? The fucking horizon with the palm trees over there.
You like that shit?
Yeah, I do. Because you know why? Because it looks like it's far away.
Right.
Fucking magnets. How do they work?
Magnets.
You know, I feel like those ICP kids just unable to grasp. That's how I am with art because I just don't fucking get it. It's so beyond.
You don't get it. You do get it.
I get it, dude, because I don't know how you did that. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, you don't have to know how I did it though.
Right.
I mean, you do. You just you know how I did it. You I just sat down and drew it. It just
well, I mean, you're
going to practice. That's all.
All right, fair enough.
That's all it is.
But that's really cool because
anyone
just,
go on.
Sorry, it looks like it would be so easy, but it's just a black tree, and it's all black because it's so far away. And then the next tree, it's white.
Right.
Just look. That's how shit looks in the real life. I know because I live there.
Yeah, anytime you put something in black, it automatically pushes it back as far as the eye is concerned. So if you draw two, in fact, I can't do it because I've got too many margin lines. But if you draw like a dude with two legs, so there his legs. If you colour that one in, but give this one a foot. I mean, you saw, and then give that one.
Oh yeah, and then that one goes.
The black one looks like it's behind. It looks like he's walking towards you. It's just an optical illusion. I think what people try to do when they draw, instead of trying to trick the eye, they try and draw what they think is there. So they'll try and draw a leg and the knee and the there and the. Do you know what I'm saying? In reality, you probably won't see any of that shit. As long as the eyes fall, it doesn't matter what's really there. Just tricks.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, I don't understand this craft. You know, this is outside of my purview.
That's just one rule, mate. You pick them up like the same way you write. Really, I bet there's all sorts of tricks and tips and stuff you apply, and that I don't even know what it is that you're doing. I just know that the story works for me.
But you know what's cool though?
Go.
Is now with the teaching, you and I have a whole lot more common ground.
Yeah. Weird, isn't it?
It's like something in common.
It's like a synchronicity, Ben.
It is. And I don't believe that's accidental.
I know you don't. That's why I love you, mate.
I love you too.
I had a good conversation last time.
Oh, hell yeah. So did I. I'm out here planting seeds, you know? That's all it is. But I got to be fair to Buddha because he's really cool.
Yeah.
He's really cool. And ever since that... Go ahead.
I think Buddha comes from the same philosophy as me, is that we like to we just like to discuss it. I'm not really interested in trying to convince anybody.
Oh yeah, you really can.
Yeah. It's not. There's no point. I'm just really interested in the conversation. I just find it super interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I do too. But Buddha's really based, actually, because like despite being an atheist, he really is. Because on the one hand, he's an atheist, but he's intelligent enough to correctly come to the conclusion that something goes on after you die. That's not
Right.
termination, and that's so crucial to have a clear vision of that. And so he's really half an atheist, if you ask me. But he's really cool besides because do you remember the Sandman episode?
Yes.
So he made the conversation more about the TV show, which is okay,
Right.
because we did it like close to when the TV show came out, and it was fun it was good jumping off point to compare them. But his take on that was so intelligent, and the way he kind of spun the woke shit that's eminent in the show, by pointing out the absurdity of all the other endless transforming to match the people around them, except Death. She's always a black girl.
Right.
Which is fine. Death could be a black girl. There's a part in the original graphic novel where she and Dream are both black because that's the environment that they're in.
Yeah.
So the point is they would both be the same thing.
Yeah.
So it actually damages the character. It just doesn't make sense. And he was pointing out, in a really articulate, intelligent way, he made that point, and I was just really impressed with it.
Yeah. Do you often? I suppose you must do then. Like, so when you think of atheism, do you often associate that with like the wokies?
Oh yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Are there more conservative atheists in England or something? It just sounds like nobody's religious anymore.
Oh yeah, there are loads of conservative atheists in England.
Oh, that's weird. That's a weird flavor combination for me.
Yeah.
We don't really make those sandwiches here,
Yeah. There's loads of
that.
The Christian following in sort of our generation isn't very large in England.
For real, dude, because in the States, businesses are booming.
I know, yeah, and I know you guys can't help but conflate like the religion with the conservative and the liberal side, but there's a lot of I know a few religious liberals,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think I do too.
It's a little different here.
I think I do too. Usually, when you start asking them questions, you get like contradictory answers, and then you point them out and you stretch their brain out, and it's a whole thing. It's if you ever want more tools in your toolbox as far as how to talk to people that you disagree with, I recommend a gentleman called Peter Boghossian.
Okay.
Who's some kind of professor, but anyways, he has a technique called street epistemology. If you just type street epistemology, Peter Boghossian, you'll find it. I can send it to you if you like.
Yeah, sure.
And basically, he's just very peaceful. It's almost like a kung fu of arguing.
Yeah, that's how I mean, depending on who it is that I'm talking to, really, and what they're saying to me at the time. But I try to be as chill as possible.
But it's sort of like a take on a Socratic method, because it's a It's like a directed. It's basically leading questions, is what it is.
Sure.
But in a way that sounds so friendly that you just kind of gently guide a person towards the conclusion.
Yeah.
And then if they're totally not receptive to moving in that direction, you just kind of don't push them anymore.
Right. I totally understand that way of doing things. I don't think I push people to a conclusion. I think I try and get them to answer things, and if I feel like if they're suddenly aware that they're contradicting themselves, then I stop.
That's the technique. That's the technique. You force a contradiction and you see if they notice.
Yeah.
If they notice a contradiction, that's the equivalent of a tap out.
Right. Yeah. And also I try and stay open just in case, right? Because if someone comes at me with something, and like say if I'm talking, doesn't have to be a liberal, it can be a religious person, and then I try and and I'm doing that, and then they go, well, hang on, what about this photo of God? Then then I've got to be receptive to the photo, haven't I? Do you know what I mean? Because I'm supposed to be interested in the fact, and not just leading them into a trap. Sort of built my own internal ideology. I'm trying to be open. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Yeah.
What is your ideology?
I try not to have one.
You try not to have one.
No, I don't. I really hate the idea of being gripped by an overarching ideology. I don't like the idea.
That's okay. That's okay.
That I could say I am this, and then you can pick out all the things that I think, because I'm not even sure what I think on some things, right? So I'm reluctant to put myself in any position.
So there's some things you don't have a position on.
Yeah, not because.
Is this part of why you like Jordan Peterson?
I like Jordan Peterson because I had a cloudy mind as a boy, as a young man, and I think that would have really helped me. And I think I still have a semi-cloudy one now, and I think his life advice is really useful. Like I know it can be super simplified, but to just reaffirmate certain things.
Right.
Like honestly, he was definitely a factor in my decision to start a family, and I'm really glad that I did, because I think he reminded me that and broke it down that like chasing happiness is kind of a fool's game, and you should be chasing meaning instead. Right? 100%. What the fuck is happiness? Happiness doesn't actually really exist.
Yeah. That's true.
There's just meaning, and meaning helps you push through the times when you're not happy. So it's
the reason I asked about Jordan Peterson is because he's big on this sort of not answering all the questions.
He's wishy-washy on the religion thing.
Well, he just can't make up his mind. It seems like he's just unsure of where.
I wouldn't say I was wishy-washy. If you ask me, I won't. About something that I don't know, I'll
just say I don't know. I guess
I don't know, and I'll give you the reasons why I don't know. But I won't convolute your question.
That's totally fine. That's perfectly legitimate.
And I think sometimes Peterson can be over complex in his response.
What is the origin of the universe?
No, I don't know. I don't think anyone knows.
What is the origin of the human species?
I don't know.
Very good. What happens when human beings die?
Don't know.
Okay. Excellent.
I can speculate on what could be.
Okay.
Or what I think is more likely, I suppose. But I can't purport to know, right?
Do you practice prayer and or future divination and or any kind of magic or invocations of any kind?
I have prayed before.
Okay.
And I have prayed in my older age when I thought things were going to go a certain way, and I've prayed under my breath.
Okay.
So when push came to shove, I did.
It's sort of a no atheists in a foxhole situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you aware or convinced of the existence of at least one personal and sentient divine being?
Am I aware of it?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm aware of it. No.
Okay.
I'm aware of the unknown.
Okay. But you don't have a personal relationship or evidence of any such personage?
No,
No.
not personally.
So I feel like that's the big line, you
Yeah.
know, between people that believe in God and people that don't,
Right.
you know?
If they have
And
a personal relationship.
it's such a massive thing because I couldn't imagine my life without what I guess you assume to be an imaginary friend. I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. That's not how I think of it.
But it's so real. To me, it's more real than anything.
I think. What do I think? It could be a toss up to you've tapped into something that I haven't, maybe, or it could be that you feel that way, but that doesn't mean that it's happening. But if it makes you feel great, then that's great. Like it could be either of those. I don't know. I don't know. But I just take you at face value when you say that you have that. I believe you.
You believe me. That's cool.
I listen. It sounds great. I wish I did.
Yeah, I wish you did too. It really makes
But
it
it
really
just
makes
doesn't.
things
Yeah.
okay. That's
Yeah.
all
So
right though. I was just curious.
no. That's fine.
Oh, and did you tell me one time that you did a Grant Morrison type spell?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So tell me about that.
It was
What better background? This glorious wizard and his wise steed with eyebrows and his beard of its own, right?
right.
What better time and place?
Before I answer this, I've just got to go and get something. I'll be back in a second. Right. I need something to have this conversation.
Suspense.
Maybe
They were super necessary.
The thing that he's acquiring is super necessary for such an assignment. Oh man.
get over here.
Come back. That's all right. So, in the meantime, great guys. Oh, that's so cool, Zaid, of you to give us a little tickle. You know, every tickle goes a long way in this
Okay, I got the thing.
cool, dude.
Carry on. Oh, Zaid. Hey, Zaid.
Yeah, Zaid's giving us a. Yeah, he is, dude.
He's a good lad, isn't he? He always
Yeah.
turns up, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate him.
Super
Yeah.
supportive. Right. What were we saying?
I think he's just got good taste when it comes to Zaid Comics, Phil Diaz. I think he just knows that this is going to be a place to be. I mean, why else would you support? Because when you think about the people that you support as a backer,
Yeah.
you know, or as a peer, it's the books you want to read. At least I do.
Sure.
So I take two things from his presence here all the time. One is that he really wants to see this book and he can't wait to get his hands on it. And two, that he's a cool guy.
Yeah,
And
he's been proper supportive of us.
yeah, he always has done, always. And he's a few steps ahead of us, you know, in the game. And he still takes the time to encourage. So that's really cool.
They're good business lads. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. They have like cool merch,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards. Hell yeah, dude. So yeah, what's this magic?
The Grant Morrison one. This was like years ago. I was in a creative funk, and I watched, what was the documentary called with Grant Morrison? Gods and Monsters.
Okay.
And he had this magical. He calls it magic, but it's just like psychological affirmation. Really, you write down what it is that you want to achieve. You take some of the letters out of it, you turn it into a sigil.
Yep.
And then you concentrate on that sigil during a really intense time, right? That could be jumping off a cliff or having a wank or whatever, or having sex. So I performed this ritual.
Okay.
And I didn't wank over it. It would took me ages. And then just to see if it would work, really, just to see if it was. But I think, I mean, it sort of did years later because I'm doing it now because it was just to get my head together and start creating something that people would see, right?
Okay. Well, what was the message in the sigil?
I can't actually remember, but it was. I can't remember the specific message, but it was just to. It was just to create something, like just get on the road to some form of success with my artwork. That was it.
Okay.
That was it.
So like a clear vision of a project.
Yeah, I was in a creative slump at the time. I think I wasn't happy with where I was in life as far as the job was concerned.
So how long after the invocation would you feel like it was fulfilled? Or has it been?
Oh, it's been years. It's been ages. I think I was too aware of it. You know what I mean?
So you were like looking out for it to be completed?
Yeah. I was quite young when I did it, and I still hadn't got my work ethic down, I think. And that was because although I had some ability as an artist, you do that, Morris. Zaid knew. You knew.
I might have tried it once. Didn't work.
Didn't work. I drew a picture of a little blonde-haired Colombian boy, and I waited for him to come into my life, and he did.
For some reason, the first time you told me about that, I thought somehow I must have filled in the blanks on my own, but I thought that you were saying that as soon as you did that, that was like when we met, and you were like, "Oh shit, here we go."
Yeah, well, I mean, it could have led up to that, you know. But I think after that, I realized. I mean, it did sort of help me because, like, after that, I realized, in order to get to this place, although I've got some ability as an artist, I still need a lot of room to improve in order to sort of achieve or try and achieve, even attempt to achieve these things that I wanted to try and achieve, right? So I suppose it started a catalyst in that I started getting my head down and becoming a better artist, and then I entered things to 2000 AD and I got feedback, and then I became better the year. Do you know what I mean? So it didn't happen in the way that, like, oh, I wish for a girlfriend and the next day she turned up. Like, it was more like it set off a catalyst in which I was like, oh, okay, this is what I actually need to do because I'm being honest with myself. So really, the sigil thing isn't about magic. It's not about tossing something into existence. It's about fortifying an idea in your mind through an intense act in which it's consistently now on your mind. You've created a core memory about this thing that you want to do, and now you're planting a seed in your own brain. That's all it is. It's just a way of planting an intense idea.
It's an auto inception.
Yeah.
It's a self-hypnosis.
Yeah. Yes, pretty much. But he sort of sells it as magic because he's I'm a writer.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
you
But I like
know,
that because Morrison's a magic guy as well.
I'm torn on this because on the one hand, if you had really done magic, that could have been like my into metaphysics with you, but you haven't had anything supernatural happen, so that door's still closed. Fair enough.
Sure.
But and on the other hand, it's a good thing because that means that you understand the psychology behind this, so you're not going to get duped by some malignant spirit because you're
Right.
handling it properly.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. But yeah, so it remains to be seen whether it's worked or not.
So it's like magic, but with a condom, basically. So you
Yeah.
can't get demons.
Yeah. It's brain magic, right?
I can't get demons. I understand this on a completely psychological and physical level.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
I think even Morrison sort of says when you see interviews with him, he sort of says it's magic that anyone can do. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more about convincing yourself that you're capable of something by intensely implanting an idea into your mind. It sounds hokey on the top. Create a sigil and you turn it into this ritual. Well, yeah, because you turned it into a ritual, and then when you turn things into a ritual, they become a memory.
More substantial,
right?
Yes.
Which is what you do. Which is why I believe you do things like weddings and christenings and stuff.
Yes.
That
is why.
Yeah, they're traditions and they're rituals, and now because they're rituals. Do you remember when we were at so and so's wedding? I remember that. Do you remember do you know what I mean?
That's
and
right.
It's there, and it's celebrated, right? So
that's right.
Same sort of thing, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, these are markers, you know.
Yeah.
The world is not the same after this day. Now I'm married.
Right.
Exactly. And your child being born, obviously, happens well before the christening, and the christening itself isn't significant. But what's significant is the arrival of your child, and sort of it's a combination of the birth and also like the presentation of your child to the world. Like, come meet my son. I have a son.
Precisely.
Yeah, dude. And that's super important.
I believe it is. But I think a lot of people were surprised when I had my boy christened.
Yeah, because you're like supposed to be an atheist, isn't it?
Well, I have got these conversations with people, and I don't get into. And if they ask me if I'm religious, I'll say no.
Right.
But what I think because of that, they'll assume that other things as well.
Yeah. No, but you've got a fun combination because you're not you don't have the personal experience, which is just something different, but you get it, you know.
Yeah.
You understand.
I think it's really useful.
Yeah, about living your life the right way and all that.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's supposed to be. So you're doing it anyways, isn't it? I like this page a lot because I'm just really in love with this visual.
The
desert landscape with the animal, the mount, and the dude. It just all looks really good together.
Yeah, man. I'm quite pleased with this one too. Although I'm going to get rid of this bottom bit here.
Are you? Let me see it.
I can't. It just doesn't work very well as a page layout. I was trying to fit in.
Okay. Too much.
Yeah. So I might change the size of some of these panels. So this part at the bottom, like all of this, and redo that because you can't really tell that he's sort of looking back on the people that he killed. Like this isn't a very good establishing shot.
Yeah. I am agree.
Yeah, shit. Actually, I really hate it.
Okay. So what's going to go in these 3 pounds?
Which ones?
Well, are you going? I'm assuming So all this you'll get rid of, yeah. Or what will you keep? Because there's going to be 3 subsequent panels
Yeah, so
to the right?
yeah, these 3 I'm going to keep. So he's climbing up the mountain, and I'm just going to redraw this at the bottom.
Oh, here we go. There's the mountain. I just now noticed that.
Yeah, it's a bit sketchy. Once it's inked, you'll be able to see what it is.
Okay. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Yeah, see, sort of on it. It's like he's sort of on his
The ladder.
Yeah.
He's checking it out, and there's. Oh yeah, there's the circle.
Yeah.
Okay, for those of you watching at home who don't know what's going on here, we've got Rokan carrying somebody's dead body, and you should know what is if you've been paying attention. And then he walks out of the oasis to the mountain cliff. There's the ladder. He climbs the ladder. Here he is halfway up the ladder, looking through his periscope. What does he see? Buzzards eating corpses.
Yeah, it needs to be a better establishing shot.
No, you don't. Wait, this is what you're saying you didn't like?
The 2 bottom images I don't like.
Oh, okay. What's wrong with them?
They just don't work very well. I need more room, so I'm going to once I've inked them, I can move them. I can move these around a little bit.
Oh, I see.
Because they're quite large imageries.
Oh, I see. So
I'm
that's how you get the whole page at a macro level.
Yeah, this is the beauty of doing the inks digitally, that I can. It's so much quicker because I can now, instead of having to redraw everything, I can just draw over an image that I enjoy and then just bring it down a little bit and then redraw what I need to redraw.
Mootman's got that digital inks.
Yeah, I think this is the way forward, man.
That's so cool. Yeah, I can tell that this is really helping you to get satisfied.
Yeah,
with
it's just quicker. It's just so much quicker.
Right. This way you get off.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Thanks, man. Oh, read your DP stuff.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing that I've been writing. I didn't mention that before because I'm not really thinking about this as a comic book, but I want to do science fiction short stories, and I started one already.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Cool.
Were you pleased with it?
Yes.
Good.
It threw me off a little bit writing in present tense.
Yeah.
The whole thing, because I usually tend to just do past tense.
Sure.
Like this is all over with.
Yeah.
But then because of the format that, by the way, you came up with.
Yeah.
Viewers at home. Max Hedstrom had an idea. I was talking about the Choose Your Own Adventure, but it's a comic book, but it's, it's a graphic novel. I was talking about that, but Max had the idea even before I did of a video that looks like those text-based video games, right? Which are basically bigger versions of Choose Your Own Adventure game books, right?
Yeah, but you still sort of have to follow it. It's
like more interactive.
Yeah,
the same idea.
Yeah, it's an art piece, really. I just wanted a way to consistently show off your writing, and then a handful of drawings that I've done like that's quick to churn out, but still looks high quality.
Yeah.
And it's weird, but it's but in a good way. It's experimental. I really enjoy it.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To do it the way you had in mind of making it a video and all that.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna really be a lot of fun for people to watch.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more stuff on this channel coming soon.
Yeah, there is.
I've got
Yeah,
I've got the time now to work on everything. And now I've messed my knee up. I won't be training much. So
Okay, good. I'll put you to work editing videos. So like, so I was thinking for Professor Chat, it could be pretty simple to start. Just like some, because what I finally decided is that the first videos that I upload don't have to be like viral, and like they won't be probably.
yeah, you got to build up to that shit. Unless
I
you
gotta
get
build
super
up to
lucky.
that.
Yeah.
Right. So I have to just get over thinking that like if the first video I upload isn't like a big success, then it's not worth doing. That's a stupid way to think about it.
Yeah.
So with like the Professor Chat thing, I'm thinking like just start simple, like just review some shit. So anything that I have I think I have a unique take on, which is a lot of things, just review it. And
Yeah, do it.
Why not? What am I waiting for? So just help me think of how to do this thing. So what kind of background should I get, and what kind of microphone should I buy?
I think you can get a decent. I'm gonna say back in a minute. Someone just called me. Back in a sec. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Sorry.
9.
Okay.
8. So yeah, so that's all right. What I need to be more familiar with these drops.
Does the phrase "go suck a" hold any meaning for you?
So those are the things that I'm writing, and it's hard to talk when you're by yourself for some reason. I don't know. 7, 6, 5. But yeah, dude, Usagi Yojimbo. An interesting thing about him as well, about that comic book, is that the movies that you had mentioned, the ones about Satoishi. So
Sorry, man.
that's all right.
My office is in the garden, and my cat was outside scratching the door, so I had to chase him
Oh.
around the garden and put him inside.
There's a cat in your garden.
Is your cat in my garden?
There's a cat in your garden. So I was just saying, like, you mentioned Satoishi,
Yeah.
and I told you there was the pig, Satoishi from Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah.
And then there was also a lone wolf and cub, but instead of wolves, he made them a goat. So it's like a goat and a kid,
Okay.
and they like ram people, and it's cool.
I suppose this is what I always would have liked with Lone Wolf and Cub,
Okay.
for them to do another one later. I mean, I don't know what happens at the end. They both survive at the end, right?
I mean, yeah.
I want to see the kid grown up, and then I want to see the kid go through something, a different dynamic with another member.
Yeah, dude, I totally want to see the kid grown up too.
Maybe it's reversed, and it's a young, like a man in his 30s who's a samurai, but this time the dynamics change because he's wandering around with his like his father, like a bit like Roken and his father.
Or how about this? Do you ever play Donkey Kong Country?
Yeah.
So what's Donkey Kong Country 1? Lone Wolf and Cub. It's homeboy with a bow tie taking care of his son, beating up fucking crocodile pirates.
Right.
And then, did you ever play Donkey Kong Country 2?
No.
So that one, you can't play as Donkey Kong. You play as Diddy and Dixie. So it's a boy monkey and a girl monkey.
Right.
And there's more things.
They use kids.
Well, I don't know actually, but I always thought I could be wrong, but my assumption was that Diddy was Donkey's son.
Yeah.
And then Dixie is his girlfriend.
Right.
So it's like it's a family, right?
Yeah.
It's a
that's
monkey
cool.
family. But maybe not, because now that I think about it, I think they might not even be the same species, right? I think, isn't Donkey Kong a gorilla?
Donkey Kong is a gorilla, yeah.
And then Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong are like proper monkeys,
Oh, okay.
I think. I don't know. Who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? But yeah, but like a Star Fox kind of world, right? But
Yeah.
with like plenty of Ninja Turtles shit.
But I because obviously we've got this
I got a great idea.
prequel idea for Roken where
Oh yeah, that
where
one
he's
too.
the most of the story he's in the womb, right?
Yeah, I really want to do a Rokon story of his mother's pregnancy. So,
But like between that and this one, I did wonder: was Roken was once Roken was born, was he then passed to his dad, and it was a lone wolf and cub sort of thing? But wizards.
do you want to? We could do a lone wolf and cub.
You should do all three. You should do the mum, the lone wolf and cub one, and then with the one that we're doing now, which is like Roken as and then eventually the Roken the warlord, right?
And eventually, Rohan the singer.
Yeah. So it's like lone wolf and cub before he was even born, that's a great dynamic. That the pregnant warrior, right?
If we do all
Actual
this,
lone wolf and cub,
yeah.
Roken, and then you got your King Conan sort of thing as well. But they're all really great staples for an overarching each arc. You know, I love it.
So yeah.
That way.
So you remember the antagonist that I won't spoil?
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
We could do. There's that whole thing too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that you put all that into because like Lone Wolf and Cub, the concept of Lone Wolf and Cub is the samurai and the kid.
So here's the chronology.
There's a whole arc in it as well, isn't there?
So here's the chronology. There's Rokan's father and mother.
Yeah.
And there's the story of her pregnancy.
Yeah.
And then you could do a lone wolf and cub with baby Rokan before he's old enough to form memories. Just wizard shit. Purely wizard shit.
Wizard Lone Wolf and Cub with Roken.
Right. Wizard Lone Wolf and Cub. Instead of samurai shit, it's wizard shit.
Yeah. How cool is that?
Because that'll give us a chance to like put let everybody look at the whole iceberg of this Rokan lore that we made up.
Right, which is what I thought as a young person when they brought the prequels out. I thought this is the way they were going to go with Vader. And I thought the whole story of the prequels was going to be the protection of this child because it's the one, you know.
Oh my God, Star Wars, dude.
And
Fuck Star Wars, dude.
They totally fucked it up.
There is no intellectual property that has suffered more from being successful than fucking Star Wars. Because the most interesting stories and the most cogent do not get made into movies.
Right.
Do not get made into TV shows.
No.
There's some fun Star Wars lore, but like, are you ready to read like shitty novels?
Right.
Or like obscure comic books? Like,
yeah.
The mainstream shit sucks.
No franchise has disappointed me more than Star Wars.
The mainstream Star Wars sucks, dude. I don't fuck with any of it. I don't fuck with those Clone Wars cartoons.
Yeah, I'm done.
I won't fuck with the movies, dude. No, I'm not into Star Wars. But anyways, what were you saying?
Yeah, just that. Just like if you did those sort of built around that Lone Wolf and Cub arc with different sort of variations of it, because it's an interesting, really interesting dynamic, and if you just tweak the dynamic in different ways for each arc, you've got another super interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
And obviously one is the mother and the and all the sort of vulnerability that brings, and then there's the father. I think the writer of Lone Wolf and Cub did it because he wanted to portray the main character as like this unstoppable force, but for the reader to still have a sense of anxiety when he fought. You know, he was pretty ruthless with the way he treated his own son, wasn't he? So even when he fought him, you thought, oh, he's going to kill all these guys. You're worried about the kid. And that's where the vulnerability comes from with the reader.
Yeah. I've got a really good idea.
Okay.
So the anthropomorphic animals, they've got archaic weapons, but they can shoot lasers. So, because I was thinking for the ant dude, I wanted to be like a centurion, right? So I wanted to have like a fucking sword and shield and a spear, right? Because he's got 6 legs. So he's got a spear here, a sword here, a shield here, right?
Yeah.
And and then like the sword shoots laser beams. It's like a real sword. So your bad guy, he has a real sword too. That was the idea. But then as it concerns Rokan and prequels about his parents, I think that's a really cool idea because I really want to do 3 generations here. You know?
Yeah.
I want to tell a 3-generation story because I was always really aggravated that it's like, oh, 40-year-old Batman, oh, 50-year-old Batman, oh, 80-year-old Batman, oh, 147-year-old Batman. It's like, fuck, dude, people die, right?
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne just died, Bruce Wayne. And then someone else is Batman, you know? And I like the story like Nightfall where he leaves and he comes back, but you can only do that story once, right?
Yeah, I enjoy. I think as you get older, your scope for life sort of opens up a bit, especially when you start thinking about having kids and stuff, and then you realise what the cycle is. And I think that's a really interesting to lay story arcs on, you know, because that's what happens in real life, right?
That's right.
It's not always consistently about one character having the same adventures over and over and over and over again. It can be much bigger than that. And I think if you show that cycle, man, it resonates.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then that, you know, that's Shakespearean.
Yeah.
By that point.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just have such a clear idea of the circumstances and consequences of both of these births, you know?
Yeah.
And you know where it comes from, Max? It comes from fucking reading King Arthur.
Yeah.
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 This is like, because the story, it's so important that you understand like who Uther Pendragon was.
Yeah.
And why Rokan doesn't know his father and why he doesn't know who he is and what happened before. So there's this whole prologue where you see the previous generation of the world.
Yeah.
And I felt really a strong need to do the same thing for my protagonist. Because, you know, I don't know how much of an impact he'll have on the world as far as people knowing who he is in reality, but he's a big player in his world, you know.
Yeah.
Like a King Arthur. It's like that magnitude, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like the Jon Snow of his world, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the Skywalker.
Yeah, he's Luke Skywalker for sure. Awesome, dude. So the chronology, let's take it from the top. The chronology is Rokan is conceived.
Yeah.
So we follow his mother, and she escapes Lovecraftian danger, and then she, you know, doesn't
No.
Doesn't survey as many
No, it's
way
fine. Say it.
things to do. Anyways, the next story is about Dad. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, if we already did the lone wolf and cub thing, then there's a pretty glaringly absent mother in it.
Yeah.
So then it's the dad, and it's lone wolf and cub but with magic. Then it's Rokon. Y'all know Rokon. We're so close to finishing the first book of Rokon. I'm super serious, you guys. And after that, it's Rokon book 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, man. I depending on how good Rokon gets, I'll be, if you wanted another artist to get on some of the others, I'll be fine with it.
Do you know what I want? I want it to I want you to always be working on Rokon.
Yeah, I probably will be, mate, at this point.
That's what I want. I want this to be the rest of your life.
Rokon forever.
I want this to become lucrative is what I want.
So do I.
And like, I don't know, I don't remember exactly how much it came down to. And if I still owe you money for some pages, I think I do.
Yeah.
But I think in the future, we should just do like whatever
Yeah, I know.
crowdfunded money we obtain.
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it makes more sense. I think it's more fair.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get most of the book done before we do the campaign as well,
Yeah. Yeah, we will do that as well. Yeah. So so that way the production of the book feels like something that we're going to get paid for, and then we do the campaign, and then that's where the money comes from.
For sure.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So how much? What do I owe you, by the way?
I don't know. Well,
We need to
look.
take a look at that. Yeah. Oh my God. This is why I hate freelance work in general. I hate doing it because I'm so forgetful and unorganized.
It's everything's recorded on PayPal, so don't worry.
No, I know that. That's why I'm not worried at all. And that's why you're not worried. But
and anyway,
I'm just so bad at keeping track of it. You know?
Don't worry about it, mate.
And I think you are too.
Yeah,
and
I'm
it's just
fucking
funny
awful
how
at
it,
it.
yeah, it's a bad combination.
Well, I'm not at this point. It doesn't matter. The important thing is we just need to get the book out as far as I'm concerned. We'll worry about all that shit later.
But yeah, from now on, just 50-50 profit share across the board.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. I'm down.
And then, we got to talk to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because I paid him a significant amount of money.
For what?
To make those metal cards.
You've not heard?
Well, I've been in touch with him sporadically, but he hasn't made them. He got sick or something. But last communication I had with him, I understood that like he was delayed because he was sick or he was injured.
Okay.
Which I believe.
Okay.
But I need to confirm with him if he's still doing them, because if he's still not able to work, then he'll just need to give me the money back. That's all.
Yeah.
So let me look at that, and then I'll look at the PayPal. Anyways, we can have the rest of this conversation probably offline.
Yeah.
But yeah. So all those Rokon chronologies, we got to a point where I decided to stop spoiling because the story that will be ongoing, we don't want to spoil it. But yeah, you'll be done with uni, and you've got this digital ink thing, so that makes it quicker.
Yeah.
So it seems like you're finally like hitting your stride.
Yeah.
Of pace.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah, that's really encouraging. Now, so I mean, we'll keep doing the Rokon book, and if you ever just feel like you need a break from it because you want to work on something else for a while, just let me know. You know, maybe after this book you'd want to do that. I don't know, but that's fine. I'm cool with that.
So we'll regroup and see how we think. I'm sure we'll come up with something.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
So many
But
ideas.
yeah, you know the story. You're the only one who does, besides myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty cool. And the fun thing about it is there's multiple generations.
Yeah.
And I really like that because I read a manga called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and that's a pretty cool intergenerational thing because it gives you whatever common thread that you want to keep playing with for a
Yeah.
character. So you can have like the same superhero, basically, different iterations of him, and then you can change the personality in any way you want. So you can, just like the Batman's dad when he was Batman, he was like more of a dick, right? Or something.
Right. Yeah. He was just more ruthless. He killed people. He's
Yeah,
probably
that's cool.
a better Batman than you'd probably prefer that Batman. Actually.
I think that's a better policy. Not joking.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah, dude. Everything's looking good. I think things are moving in the right direction.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so yeah, so of the projects I mentioned, I guess you would prefer me to keep working on the science fiction side of things.
Yeah, only if you want to.
I do want to.
Yeah, then get stuck in.
I do want to because I've been reading shitloads of science fiction, dude.
Yeah, what you read?
I'm reading Gene Wolfe
Yeah.
and I'm reading Thomas Dish.
Anything stand out?
Yeah, it's fucking really good shit.
That surprises me that you weren't necessarily into it that much beforehand.
Well, like, I'm really picky
Yeah.
when it comes to style.
Sure.
I have a really sensitive palate to
Okay.
style. So, like, I like Philip K. Dick stories.
Yeah.
But it's a fucking chore
Yeah.
to read
I've heard
that
that.
bullshit, dude. It's so it's brilliant stories,
Yeah.
so clumsily delivered.
Oh, really?
In a weird way, it's like crude, it's like raw,
Yeah.
But I also think it's intentional because, like, if you're in the right frame of mind, it really does the trick, because a book like A Scanner Darkly, if you understand it, it's a masterpiece.
Right.
But some of his books are hard to fucking get through, dude. Like all the Valis bullshit and all of the well, what Dick have you read?
I haven't read any Dick. I've heard that he's hard.
But I've
to read.
sucked 3. It's hard, dude. It's hard to read. But A Scanner Darkly and Duandre's Dream of Electric Sheep are some of the best books of all time.
Yeah.
But then you do the deep cuts, man. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? It's like hard to understand them. And then like other dudes that everybody is really high on just suck. Like Isaac Asimov.
Right.
Like, yeah, Foundation is really clever and the robot stories are like really cool. But like, I don't like the way it sounds in my head. Like,
Oh, okay.
it just freaks me out. And then like anything super old is just like nerdy and dumb. But then like the best science fiction is the most enjoyable to read that there is. It's like this weird top bottom thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
like, do you know like the higher male variability hypothesis?
No.
So the theory is that genetic outliers, that is like the most extreme personality types or behaviors, only appear in men. Do not appear in women at all.
Yes.
And so there's something male about science fiction because the worst books you will ever read are science fiction, and the very best books you will ever read are
Right.
science fiction.
I feel the same about horror movies.
Cool.
Some
I can see that. Yeah.
terrible horror, but there's some really, really good as well.
Yeah, dude. That's absolutely true.
It's a really wide genre of film. Interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's something like 97% of science fiction readers who like buy books
Mm.
are male.
Yeah, I could believe.
Like it's out of control. The ratio, you know.
Wonder why
And
they-
like you read science fiction, and sometimes if it's like a master, if you're reading somebody good,
yeah,
like J.G. Ballard or Gene Wolfe, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Actually, believe it or not, C.S. Lewis, like his science fiction is top quality,
okay,
right? Ray Bradbury, like the greats, you know, there's tons. But
Okay.
if you're reading something like that, you're like, wow, this is the smartest guy in the world. If I like this guy, like this guy is so cool. I wish I could meet him. And then
Right.
sometimes you're reading, and it's like, you know, I'm gonna talk shit a little bit, but there's some dudes I'm not like. What's the dude's name that wrote Ringworld? Larry Niven.
right,
Like, okay, Larry Niven is a good writer and everything. I'm not really gonna talk shit, but he's such a nerd, dude. And you just feel like if you met him, you'd like bully him, you know? And you just be like, dude, why are you concerned with like the fucking the population? Chill out, dude. We're not gonna overpopulate. Just sit down and have a juice box. Like, it just seems like such a dweeb, you know? That's just me. I don't know.
that's funny as fuck.
But yeah, I've been reading a lot of weird shit.
Anything stand out that you really, really enjoy, like specifically?
Oh hell yeah, dude. The coolest thing I've ever read in my life I read recently, which was the Book of the New Sun.
Okay.
It's Gene Wolfe. Gene Wolfe is the finest writer who has ever lived, by the way.
Okay,
And the first book, it's a quartet, so it's like 4 books, yeah. And the first book is called The Shadow of the Torturer.
yeah,
And Max, this is the coolest book I've ever read.
oh really?
Like, this is number 1 for me. This book was so cool. It
What's
was
it about?
it was like if you could go into my dreams and take the part that's the Rokon world and over here it gets the science fiction world and incredibly seamlessly just meld them together.
Right,
That was this world. It's this post-apocalyptic future where there are aliens and there's interplanetary technology, but there's also a lot of places that are backwards. So, like, I almost said Rokon. It's not Rokon, but it's pretty fucking similar. But the protagonist is called Severian, right?
yeah,
And he's not a wizard like Rokon, but he's something cool. He's like, if Rokon was Paul Stanley from Kiss, Severian would be Gene Simmons, right?
right,
So he's like pretty fucking similar to Rokon, but he's more scary,
okay,
right? And he's more serious because he's not a wizard; he's a torturer.
right,
He's a torturer's apprentice. So day in, day out, 9 to 5, punch the time clock, come in. What's your job? Oh yeah, you're learning how to torture people. What the fuck?
okay,
And it's the coolest thing ever because homeboy is an expert with a sword. So I assume, and like torturing people with his bare hands. So I assume that's like jujitsu and aikido.
Right.
Because there's times when the book will just describe, and Gene Wolfe doesn't know the positions, but he'll just be like immobilizes, breaks his arm, just like
Right. So
This
this
is one of his-
to your imagination, sort of thing.
exactly. So I imagine in like ways that you could really work, but it's like the point is this is one of his core skills, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, Gene Wolfe based a little bit of the world on and like the character designs on the worlds of the Dying Earth by Jack Vance, which if you don't know is the magic system that Dungeons and Dragons magic is based off of.
Oh, really?
Which if you don't know is the magic system that Rokon's magic system is based off of.
Right.
So the magic system in the world of Rokon is based on Dungeons and Dragons, is based on Jack Vance, which is linked to this world. So you just take for granted, like he's a Dungeons and Dragons character. Oh yeah, breaking people's arms, torturing people. This is what he knows how to do, right?
Right.
And he has like a hood with a mask and a sword, and he knows how to fight. So any situation he finds himself in, like he's gonna feel like I'm surviving. You know what I mean? This session of Dungeons and Dragons, like my character is not dying.
Right. That's good.
And it's amazing. It's incredible because I didn't read this before I wrote Rokon.
Right. So it's a similar idea.
So the similarities are really surprising, you know? And it's cool too because it's not the same story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a way different story because, first of all, this is a science fiction story, bro. That's crazy. So you have this kid growing up as a torturer in like medieval world, and then he's like later interacting with like aliens and shit.
Oh, okay. So right. Okay. So it's as if aliens landed on Middle Earth or something.
So it's a subjugated world, and then spoiler, you find out that it's really under alien control. At least that's my interpretation.
Right.
It's
okay.
really hard to interpret. Is the
Okay.
other thing.
Okay. Interesting.
So it's like imagine Dune,
Yeah.
but like it's as hard to decipher as the Bible.
Right.
And the funny thing about Gene Wolfe is he was Catholic, and he had this funny idea that some Catholics and Christians do that the Bible is supposed to be hard to decipher because it's a journey, it's an experience of figuring it out.
Right.
So he purposefully makes his books hard to understand. And I don't just mean dense and like difficult prose to navigate, but I mean like it's an unreliable narrator, then there's mysteries and there's clues, right?
Right.
And I like that shit.
You like the ambiguity of it.
It's not ambiguous, is what the thing. I like that there's a real answer.
Oh, okay.
And that's really cool. And the other guy that does that is George Martin. George R. Martin. Right.
Oh, did you read any of the Game of Thrones stuff then? Yeah.
Oh, I read all of it that's been written.
Oh, fantastic. So
If you would just finish it, it might be my second favorite series of all time.
Well, he takes his fucking sweet time, doesn't he?
If he would just finish it. Well, I don't think he took this long between the other books.
No.
He just really seems to have a problem finishing it.
Is this the last one?
Who fucking knows? Hopefully.
Yeah.
But he said
feel like
realistically it'll probably take 2 more.
Fucking, you ain't getting them.
Well, like, I'm not being funny, but he's not healthy. Like,
No, he's not.
he's not in good shape. Like, you can't just hang out at that weight.
Yeah.
But anyway, who am I to judge?
Well, you're not a big fat dude.
No.
I suppose.
But there's two ways that he could go. It's either Brandon becomes king, and he better fucking explain that better than the TV show did, or he could just go back to Plan A, which is there's a reason predictable cliche stories are popular. It's because they work,
Right.
and just make Jon Snow the High King,
Right.
and cut it out with
Yeah.
stupid subverting of my Magnus Masons.
Yeah, I assumed it was going that way. It should have gone that way.
Well, apparently his whole plan the whole time was to do a switcheroo there and not do that. But
Oh, really?
I think he's struggling with the thought of just doing it, of just giving us the ending we all want.
Yeah, I bet the TV show made it a lot harder as well.
Because the TV show was so unpopular, right?
It was popular at first, and then the last 2 seasons.
Oh no, but like the finale, the actual last episode was very poorly received.
It wasn't great.
Yeah. So I think he's afraid to go through with that ending now that he's had this magical prescient vision that people hate that ending.
Yeah, it must be a lot of pressure, to be fair.
Oh yeah, but he's great. He's so good, George R.R. Martin, dude. He and Gene Wolfe are really masterful with that. Those hidden messages.
Yeah. That Gene Wolfe book sounds really cool.
Oh, it's out of control, dude. It's the coolest fucking book. It's on the whole thing's on audiobook.
Oh, I'll definitely read it then. All my books are through audio.
Yeah, man.
I read Dune through audio. My wife's like a massive fan of Dune.
Is she? Yeah.
Yeah, she's reading the books now for the second time.
Those are good fucking books too, bro.
Yeah. She tells me that they're excellent.
That's another good one.
What do you think of the movie?
I mean, it's not the universe's fault that we exist during the age of Aquarius or whatever it is that makes it so that we have to look at Timothy Chalamet and Jason Momoa. All right. And they're both very talented, fine actors, but they just not how I imagine the characters.
Yeah, I think I liked the film, but the guy that played Paul, he's a bit wooden. He's a bit wooden for me.
I just don't believe him. It's like the emperor of the known universe.
Yeah.
This kid, no.
Yeah.
No, dude. What happened to? Give me a Brad Pitt over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's supposed to be young though. He's supposed to be young, isn't he? So it'll be a hard.
A hard young.
It'll be a hard. Yeah. Then he's
a hard
young.
A hard young.
It'd be a hard role to cast, I feel.
But don't you notice that you immediately started thinking about young actors, young male actors, and like notice how none of them's badass. Notice how none of them's alpha.
Yeah.
Do you see this decline in testosterone?
Yep.
It's not good. Not good.
Well,
I'm telling you, people, you need to go on an organic diet.
It's just the trend at the moment. It'll swing right around.
All right. Well, I'm worried about the chemical aspect.
Oh, I see. You're worrying about the frogs being gay.
Yeah, I look around. I see frogs, man. I don't always see
gay.
I don't always see a frog, but when I do, it's gay. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So that's it. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm just taking care of myself, man, with the organic diet as much as possible and
How's all that going? All right.
being cool. Yeah, I feel better. I'm able to think more clearly. I'm going into this 10,000 word week. I'm going in with high expectations.
Go in with no expectation.
Okay. Well, let's say this. I'm going into it giving myself the best chance.
Yeah, just do it.
Providing myself ideal circumstances.
When does it start? Tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Cool. What are you going to work on? PD or Roku?
I think I'm going to start with PD.
Okay.
I'm going to do PD, Rokon, and then I really want to figure out at least one of these comic books.
Figure out what? Sorry.
Figure out one of the other comic book ideas that I have.
Oh right, yeah. Flesh it out a bit.
Like at least figure out the whole story, what it is.
Got you. Which one do you think you'll go for?
Which one do you like most?
I think the jacket at the moment.
Okay.
Well, just toss up between the jacket and Gargoyle.
Well, it's the same story, anyways, but I'll make it more about the jacket.
Well, I
He'll
mean,
be the-
this is just my gut feeling off the concept, but I don't know what you've got planned for him. So
I think that's the best idea that I have, to be honest about it. The science fiction is a lot more fun right now, and I have some ideas fresh in my mind because of what I just read. Because I've also been reading J.G. Ballard, and like not to go on another tangent, but it's just gave me a lot of ideas for technology, like future technology that might exist, and then you kind of build stories around that. J.G. Ballard and Thomas M. Dish, both of them.
Okay.
Both of whom I believe are better writers than Philip K. Dick, by the way.
Yeah.
So like the creme de la creme. So anyways, as fun as the science fiction has been for me to try my hand at writing for the first time, I think the jacket is the best idea that I have, apart from Rokon.
Okay.
And I also think it's wise to try to build more of a comic book. I want to be more notorious. I want more notoriety for writing comic books. I think that's what I want to focus on at the moment. So I might sound silly about a second comic book before we put out the first, but I don't know what to tell you. I've got the idea, and I want to run with it.
Yeah, just I mean, I've got to do this anyway, so you might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to think about it. But yeah, the jacket's a cool idea. I think it's a cool superpower.
Yeah, you could do some really
And I think
interesting things with that.
I think this is how we get Ethan Van Sciver's attention, to be honest. Because like even if you carry on doing Rokon, because this is like a I think it would be cool if you did the covers.
Yeah.
At least for the jacket and for Gargoyle.
Yeah. You go with whatever you think, mate.
Well, okay. Are you following the Ninja Turtles still?
I haven't for a while.
So it's good. It's a mixed bag, to be fair.
Yeah.
Lately, it hasn't. It's been less good and weirder. But
Okay.
for a long time, it was really cool. It started in 2011. But anyways, all I wanted to say is that a lot of those issues, every issue that came out would have like the official art that was, people in modern times, just realistic looking people and mutants. And
Yeah.
then it would have the Kevin Eastman alternate cover, which
Right.
is like this really stylized, super old school, kind of ugly, jagged style, but it's
Yeah.
super badass, right?
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily always, I'm not always in the mood for that. Like those original Eastman and Laird books are fun, right? And I love collecting them, but I'm not always in the mood for that art stuff. And this is like a lot easier to digest, but it's really cool to have all the covers. So you can kind of like imagine the whole story play out in that classic style, but then the
Sure.
page by page is a different style. So I think that would make a lot of sense to do that
Yeah, do it.
with like the Max Headstrom jagged, like badass style for each cover. And just
Yeah,
be like,
yeah.
boom, boom. And then the interiors, some style that could be done quicker.
Yeah, yeah.
And but yeah, I think it's a cool idea because it's a cool. I think it's a concept that is going to appeal to Ethan Van Sciver more than maybe a Rokon because even though he's looked at the art before and he hasn't said anything negative. At the same time, I feel like the jacket is going to be a character that'll appeal to him more because it's more like Green Lantern or something,
Sure.
that he can relate to. I don't know. We'll see. I know I'm
possibly,
talking
yeah,
big, but
Oh. Yeah, I think you should go with whatever you think, mate.
yeah, man. Doesn't who was it that said if it's humanly possible, you should consider it within your reach?
Yeah.
Someone said that. One of the Stoics.
I don't know. But yeah, man, if that's what you want to do, you go right ahead.
So I'm gonna make that into a sigil.
Right now.
This is only a joke. We need like a flashing sign that says this is only a joke. That
we
just,
next week we'll do
superimpose.
we'll do a sigil stream.
Yeah, where we just both wank off the whole time.
Yeah. We'll just
We don't show it.
No, we'll have our cams off, but you
Right.
can like that. But you'll
Oh
be
yeah,
able
yeah.
to
That's
you'll
safe,
be able to
yeah.
hear it, and where you can see Rokon now, we'll just have the sigil. We'll
Right.
probably do it for about an hour, right?
Right. And it's gonna say Ethan Van Sciver is gonna really like this jacket character. And he's gonna do a cover.
Yeah. Just a silent stream.
That's just a fab stream. A sigil stream. That's a better name. That's what you called it. Yeah.
Yeah. A sigil stream.
A sigil stream. That's a great idea. Yo, I gotta make a move here.
No worries, buddy. Thanks for popping down.
Hell yeah. Great conversation.
Yeah, good to see you, man. We'll do another one soon.
Cool.
All right, man.
Hit me with that Sega action.
Will do. Take it easy, Ben.
Cheers. Are you gonna do the?
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Now.